Well, I'm very pleased to be joined now by the Executive Director of St. Louis Scott Gallagher Soccer Club, Patrick Barry. Pat, thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Very pleased to be talking to you.
Well, I mean, obviously, St. Louis has a rich soccer history. You're bringing the new USL Pro franchise in. What made this the right time and the right opportunity to bring a professional team back to the city?
I think there were a number of factors that led us down this road. Mainly the absence of the game here in St. Louis. I think as a community we felt it was time to get back on the national soccer landscape. In addition to, we had several international exhibition games here in St. Louis that were very well attended, in excess of 50,000 in each event. And then seeing the popularity of the sport grow in the last 5 or 6 years across the country, markets like Sacramento and Charleston and Oklahoma City, we just felt like the time was right and the demand was there for St. Louis to have a team again.
What was it that made the organization that you're part of want to play in USL Pro, and why do you believe it will be a success in the St. Louis market?
USL Pro for us from day one was our league of choice for a couple of reasons. It's a fiscally responsible league, and we, in our situation, starting with a youth club and adding a pro team on the top of our pyramid, we weren't interested in risking millions of dollars on a venture like this. So USL Pro, I think, prides itself on being an organization that allows teams to operate in a fiscally responsible manner. And so that for us was really a priority. The strength of the league, the tenure of the teams in the league, the proximity geographically. We weren't looking to be traveling all over the country, at least not in the long term. And then really probably most of all, it came down to when we met with Jake Edwards and Alec and Tim Holt. I think we all had shared visions, and they were gentlemen that we trusted and we could tell had the same interest at heart. And so once you have that kind of a match, I think everything else becomes easier.
You're obviously working with Jim Cavanaugh, who's going to be the CEO leading the franchise. What's it been like working with him, a man who's been so invested in such a part of the soccer community in St. Louis?
I've had the privilege of working with Jim now for 4 years through the St. Louis Scott Gallagher and now adding the USL Pro franchise. And Jim is one of the smartest guys I've ever met. He's very thorough, thinks things through, and that trickles down to our club, and we take that same approach in everything that we do. And when we performed our due diligence on USL Pro, we followed that lead, and so we really did our homework, and that's how we determined that USL Pro was the right league. But Jim is a true leader in every sense of the word, and has a sincere affection for the game and for our club. And so it makes it very easy to work for a guy like Jim.
Now, as we mentioned in the introduction, you're also the executive director of St. Louis Scott Gallagher. What does it mean for that club to be part of this new venture?
For us, when we looked at this opportunity, really the main focus was not about our club, actually. It was about creating an asset for the community and, like I said, getting St. Louis back on the national soccer landscape. Having said that, I feel like that it has created an excitement within our club. It's added the last piece of our pyramid, having a professional opportunity, at least on the men's side of the game. And so we feel like that it's going to help player development. It's going to create some energy and excitement in our club that we already had, but it's been taken to a new level. And I think our mission is to be the best club in the country. And I think that adding this franchise pushes us in that direction. We're much closer than we were before we had the USL Pro team.
The reception that the unveiling of the club last week received, not just from local media, but from local supporters as well, seemed really strong from an outsider's perspective. What was that like to have, especially the supporters present as part of the club's unveiling?
I think it was exciting for all of us. I've been through a few launchings of professional soccer in St. Louis, and this one had a different feel in a very good way. And I think that all of us are cautiously optimistic that, based on the reception that you mentioned, that we might be onto something here, and there might be possibly something special happening. And so to see the supporters there, to see members of all corners of the soccer community there to support the announcement and support the team, I think we're all very hopeful that not only was it a good start, but this is an opportunity to do something really special for the community.
Now, the thing that hasn't yet been announced is we don't have an official name for the club yet. We don't have official team colours yet. Are there plans for that to get the ball rolling and give this club an identity?
Absolutely. So team name and team logo and colors were in the works before the announcement. They continue, and we will be coming out, I would say, in the next 30 to 60 days, soliciting fan input. And then coming out with a final decision on all of those things. And our goal is to hopefully get some of it done prior to the start of the World Cup, but it may bleed into the first couple of weeks of the World Cup. But we've already gotten some feedback. We've got an excellent marketing company, Cannonball Marketing, working on it for us, and what we've seen so far really is quite exciting.
Now, one thing that you have announced is the club's head coach, and that's going to be Dale Schilly. You've obviously known him for a long time. Why was he the right man to lead this new club on the field?
That was a pretty easy decision for us. Right off the bat, when we started talking about this opportunity, Dale expressed interest in it, and he carries a big load in our club, in our youth club, by running our Illinois division, and does a great job there. But Dale thought that his division was ready to hand off some of that leadership, although he's going to retain some of it. He's going to hand off some of the leadership to some of the younger guys in his staff, and he was interested in taking on this role. And the feedback that we got and the things that we witnessed when he coached AC St. Louis, which played here 3 or 4 years ago, he took over a very bad situation that was terribly mismanaged and got the team on the same page and got pretty good results in a very bad situation for the balance of that season before the team went away. So it was a short window. We felt like he displayed a lot of leadership and a ton of ability to get a professional team on one page and getting results and almost making the playoffs. So given that and what we already know about him, which is he's a very good leader, an excellent soccer man, and we feel like all the tools are there for Dale to be a successful coach. Now, having said that, he's going to have to get the results that we're all looking for, and he knows that, and he's up to the challenge.
Now, the club's home is going to be St. Louis Soccer Park. It's a wonderful facility. Are you looking forward to what the atmosphere is going to be like when you're welcoming your fans in, welcoming St. Louis for your home opener next season?
No doubt. I think that's all the work that's already taken place and that's going to take place will culminate with that night. And I expect we only have a little over 5,000 seats in our stadium, and our expectation is that that'll be full and we'll be turning away people. So the excitement that can be generated here, we experience that on the youth level on Friday nights through some events that we host here where we'll have 3,000 or 4,000 people here. And the excitement just for that really is what drives us each and every day to do our job, and then to add on a USL Pro game with 5,000 people and a home team to cheer for. I think everybody's extremely excited to get to that day. We just got a lot of work to do between now and then.
Yes, you said you've got a lot of work to do, so it's probably a little early to be asking a question like this. But have you set some goals as to what you would like the club to achieve on and off the field in 2015?
That's a great question. I would answer that this way, that we know what we want the experience to be. We know kind of the mood and feel that we want to capture, that's similar to what's happening in Sacramento and other places across the country. We haven't put numbers to it yet, and that's what we're working on now. I would say that what we want is for fans to come to the soccer park and have an unbelievable experience, either it's with their families or with their friends. We want tickets to be scarce. Obviously, from a financial standpoint, that's beneficial and helps us keep the doors open and keep the team here in St. Louis for a long time. But really, it's more about we want to capture kind of that magic and that excitement, and then the numbers will follow after that. And so that's what we're focused on now, but eventually we will have some obviously very concrete goals, and we'll work towards those on a daily basis.
Well, Patrick, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it, and best of luck as you build towards the 2015 USL Pro season.
Thanks very much. Very excited to be a part of USL Pro.